Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to day two of the Ladies in Tech Networking Summit and Book Launch, which is our virtual experience. My name is Kenyatta Powers-Rucker, and I'm the founder of Ladies in Tech. I've spent almost 30 years in technology and executive leadership positions, and I am the executive leadership coach and founder of Rise and Lead leadership programs. I'm a speaker, a mentor, and Ladies in Tech Volume 4 made me an 11-time best-selling author. Now, my mission has always been clear. It's always to see more women in technology, to see more women in leadership, to have more women overall in these male-dominated fields. So overall, I just want to thank you all first for being here, for joining us today. And whether you are joining from home, whether you're joining from your office or somewhere in between, I want you to know this. You are not here by accident. You are here because there is something more in you. There is something more for you. There's more leadership, more confidence, more influence, more impact. And today is about activating just that. Ladies in Tech was created from my own experience, essentially, right? I spent years building my career in technology, starting as a desktop support specialist in Y2K, and eventually becoming the first African American female chief information officer for my department. But along that journey, I was often the only woman in the room, and many times the only African American woman. And what I realized was this. It wasn't that women lacked the talent, we just lacked visibility. We lacked access, we lacked support. We didn't have the support. And I said, look, something has to change. What can I do to help make this change? Because it's really, really hard to be something that you cannot see. So I created Ladies in Tech. It started as a brunch for women to get together, to meet in person and encourage and support one another. And it turned into a four-time best-selling anthology series with women in different stages of their career, sharing their journeys, their experiences, and providing guidance along the way. Ladies in Tech was created to make sure that women are not just present, but we are seen, we are heard, we are respected, and we're positioned as professionals and as leaders to get into rooms that were not meant for us. But here's what I also learned. Getting into the room is one level. Leading in the room is an entirely different level. And too many women are qualified to lead, but we're still second guessing themselves, over preparing, holding back their voice or waiting to be validated. And that's really not a skill issue. It's not that we don't have the skills to do so. It's a leadership identity issue. So today you are going to hear from some incredible women and one great man who is a powerful advocate for women in the workforce. But they're going to show you these speakers are doing the work. They're leading in their industries and they're showing us what it takes to build careers that were not always built for us. We are women who have chosen to show up. We are women who have chosen to grow, who have chosen to lead in our own way. And I'm excited for you to hear their stories, their insights, and their experiences. But for now, let's get into our incredible lineup of speakers.
Naomi Carrington-Hockman is a world-renowned transformation expert, international speaker, best-selling author, and philanthropist. A proven leader with nearly 30 years of military and civilian experience, she specializes in presentation skills and change management. Now retired, she previously served as an information technology program manager for a defense contractor. A Bronze Star combat veteran, Naomi authored A Major Transformation, 7 Ways to Lead in Any Environment, guiding leaders to maximize their potential.
$1.8 trillion, and that is trillion with a T, is lost to ineffective communication every year in the United States. Let that sink in for a second. How much money are you losing because you are not communicating effectively.
I am Naomi Carrington Hoffman.
Get ready for strength, strategy, and insight with Naomi Carrington Hoffman.
My chapter is about leadership. What I did was compare the troop leading procedures.
Did any of you know that we are losing trillions of dollars a year? Well, what's going on is people think they are communicating when they just send a message out. But the reality is that message is not being received the way you think it's being received. I did everything incorrectly. I just threw information out without any regard for how it was being received. Having spent 20 years in the United States Army, my leadership style has been influenced by just having the discipline and creating structure towards whatever assignment or project I'm about to do. It's called CAMO, C-A-M-O. The C is for command. You have to take command of your content. Then I'll have him focus on his appearance. How you show up on the camera matters. The M is for movement. We have large speaking areas. Make sure you use that speaking area. Also, when you're in a virtual setting, make sure that you are framed appropriately on that screen. The O is for observation. Observe your audience. Are they sleeping? Are they nodding their head in agreement? Like, yep. So that means that person is listening. Observe how the audience is reacting to what you're saying.
Naomi is a speaker, and her expertise is teaching people how to communicate.
I took so many notes and took away some great points that I feel so much more confident to be able to lead them and just communicate effectively.
All of the points that she makes throughout that entire speech.
If you need someone to speak to communication and leadership, she's your girl.
Because your body speaks, and you don't want your hand gestures and what your body's doing to be sending out a message you do not want it to send out. And the O is for observation. I just observe you nodding your head. That is acknowledgement that you heard and understood what I was saying. I'll just apply some camo, and you can camouflage your speaking flaws.
Oh, I love that. Camouflage your speaking flaws by using the camo. That's very creative.
The number one trait a communicator needs to develop is listening. I definitely support active listening, where we are listening to understand what the person is saying and not listening to just respond. You're trying to get your response out and your defense. No, you have to listen with the intent that you're trying to understand what they're saying. Hello, hello, hello. I am Naomi Carrington Hoffman, and I've always believed that as human beings sharing this one planet, we have far more in common than we do differences. Yet, throughout my 30-year career, 20 years in the military, an additional 10 in the private sector, all surrounding technology and technology-related fields, I have repeatedly found myself in a very familiar position. I am often the only one. The only woman in the room, the only woman of color on the team, sometimes the only person that looked like me. Later on in my civilian career, I was the only person that had a military career. So I was the only veteran. There are so many times in our lives where you are the only one. At first, it's the feeling of intimidation. But over time, I realized something very powerful. Being the only one is not a disadvantage. It is an invitation to grow, to lead, and to rise above expectations. See, strength comes from knowing your value. Early in my career as an Army signal officer, so I did communications, network communications, we had to do a very rigorous physical fitness test. We call it PT. I was really good at the push-ups. I was really good at the sit-ups. But the running was a whole different story. That was not my strong suit. I believe that success is really about being the best at everything, but knowing where your strengths are and using them. One day when we were doing classwork in a classwork setting, my entire team or class, they were, let's just say, not excelling at the very technical work that we were doing. We were manually assigning IP addresses in Active Directory. I had done my tasks expeditiously. I was done. And all of a sudden, those fast runners, those gazelles, they were struggling. So what did I do? I went around and I helped them finish the task. I troubleshot what their problems were, and then I decided, how I could help them out best. Bottom line, we were done. But before we left, I reminded them of something very important. Sometimes you guys have to wait for me to finish the run. I don't ever want to hear you complaining ever again. We all bring something valuable to the team. So my technical skills far exceeds your physical skills. So together, we make a team. And this is where in my chapter in Ladies in Tech, Volume 4, I talk about the challenges that you face being in a team. Sometimes your purpose is what fuels your motivation. That lesson followed me into Iraq when I served as a headquarters company commander. In addition to logistics and operations, I was responsible for communication systems and providing connectivity to warfighters. Those systems were critical. Without communications, soldiers could not coordinate their missions or even requests for support. Those systems were critical. In a combat environment, you can not be light with your tasks. Your task can be the difference between life and death. So in those moments, motivation is not about your personal success. Motivation is about responsibility and purpose. When you know that your work truly matters, you show up differently. You prepare more, you focus more, you push yourself to do better. And that's where I talk about leadership in high stakes environments. Later, as a defense contractor in the IT fields, I was often the only woman of color in technical leadership roles. I understood something very clearly. My performance would be noticed. If I succeeded, it would challenge assumptions and open doors. If I failed, it might reinforce someone's doubts or stereotypes. At times, it felt like I was carrying the weight of expectations on my shoulders. But instead of letting pressure defeat me, I turned it into motivation. I stopped worrying about just meeting the standards, and I focused on exceeding it. I arrived early to meetings, I prepared thoroughly, and I spoke with confidence. Because one of the biggest mistakes talented professionals like us all make is dimming our light. So stop dimming your light. Too many people hesitate to speak up. They hesitate to claim their achievements. They hesitate to ask questions. They hesitate to even step forward. But if you do not advocate for your contributions, no one else will. Confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance will be the death of you. Confidence is clarity about the value you bring. Let me say that again. Confidence is clarity about the value you bring. So here are my takeaways. If you remember nothing else from today, remember these 3 things. First, embrace what makes you different. Your uniqueness is not a weakness. It is often the very thing that makes you valuable. Second, let purpose fuel your motivation. When your work matters to something bigger than yourself, excellence becomes a responsibility. And third, never dim your light. Speak with confidence, claim your contributions, and ask questions that others are afraid to ask. Throughout my career, I have learned that there will be moments when you feel like you don't belong in the room. Moments when you feel like you're the only one. But those moments are not barriers. They are opportunities. Opportunities to lead, opportunities to grow, opportunities to show the world what you're capable of. So if you ever find yourself in a space where you feel different, remember this. Don't shrink to fit the room, rise to fill it. Because sometimes the only one is exactly where leadership begins. So whether it's at home, at work, your community, how you communicate matters. And I, as the CEO of Naomi Speaks, can help you transform into an effective communicator. You can contact me at naomispeaks.com or email me at info@naomispeaks.com. Happy speaking.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to share this initiative. My name is Sabrina Malloy, and I represent SRM Consulting Group, the organization behind Homegrown Explorers Academy. Homegrown Explorers Academy is a 6-week STEAM summer enrichment program designed for students in grades 4 through 7. The program focuses on introducing students to science, technology, entrepreneurship, arts, and mathematics through hands-on learning experiences. Our goal is simple: to help young learners build confidence, curiosity, and creativity while exploring the world around them. Next slide, please. Across the country, educators have identified a challenge known as summer learning loss. During the summer months, many students experience a decline in academic engagement simply because structured learning opportunities decrease. Students often have limited access to enrichment experiences that allow them to explore science, technology, or creative problem solving. Without opportunities for exploration, students may miss the chance to discover interests that could shape future careers. This is the gap Homegrown Explorer Academy was created to address. Next slide. When students are exposed to STEAM learning early, it can change how they see the world. Hands-on learning experiences allow students to experiment, ask questions, and develop solutions. STEAM programs help students build problem-solving skills while also encouraging creativity and innovation. Even more importantly, these experiences introduce students to future career possibilities that may have never considered before. Early exposure helps students see themselves not just as learners, but as future scientists, engineers, designers, and innovators. Next slide. The Homegrown Explorers Academy summer program will run for 6 weeks, beginning July 7th and concluding August 14th, 2026. The program is designed for students in grades 4 through 7, a critical stage where curiosity and creativity are still developing rapidly. Throughout the 6 weeks, students will participate in structured STEAM activities designed to encourage exploration, experimentation, and teamwork. Instead of traditional classroom instruction, the program emphasizes hands-on learning experiences that make education interactive and exciting. Next slide. Each week of the program introduces a new STEAM theme. During week 1, students explore scientific discovery through experiments and observation. Week 2 focuses on engineering and building, where students design and construct projects. Week 3 introduces technology and innovation, helping students understand how technology shapes our world. Week 4 explores environmental science and encourages students to investigate the natural environment. Week 5 focuses on creative design and the arts, blending creativity with problem solving and entrepreneurship. Finally, week 6 concludes with an innovation showcase where students present what they have learned. Next slide, please. One of the most exciting parts of Homegrown Explorers program is our educational field trips. Students will participate in 4 STEAM-focused excursions throughout the summer. These trips allow students to see how science, entrepreneurship, and technology are applied in real-world environments. Experiences may include visits to science centers, innovation labs, aviation experiences, or environmental exploration sites. Field trips help bring learning to life and show students how STEAM concept exists beyond the classroom. Next slide, please. The program includes a wide variety of hands-on activity designed to keep students engaged and curious. Students will conduct science experiments, participate in engineering design challenges, and explore robotics and technology projects. They will also engage in creative design labs and environmental exploration activities. Many of the activities are collaborative, allowing students to work together while solving problems and testing ideas. The goal is to make learning interactive, creative, and memorable. Next slide, please. Beyond academic content, students will develop important life skills during the program. These include leadership, communication, and collaboration. Students will learn how to share ideas, work in teams, and approach challenges creatively. They will also strengthen their ability to think critically and analyze problems. These skills are not only important for school success, but also essential for future careers. Next slide, please. Programs like Homegrown Explorers Academy have meaningful long-term impacts. Students often leave the program with greater interest in STEAM subjects and increased confidence in problem solving. They develop enthusiasm for learning and a stronger sense of academic readiness. Most importantly, students begin to see themselves as capable learners who can explore, create, and innovate. This confidence can influence how students approach school and learning in the future. Next slide, please. We invite families to join us for this exciting summer experience. Homegrown Explorers Academy offers students an opportunity to explore science, technology, entrepreneurship, arts, and mathematics in a supportive and engaging environment. Students will learn through hands-on activities, field trips, and collaborative projects. Families who are interested in learning more or registering their child are encouraged to connect with us. You can also follow the program on Instagram to stay updated on announcements and program details. Next slide, please. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about Homegrown Explorers Academy. We're excited about the opportunity to provide students with meaningful learning experiences that encourage curiosity and creativity. Programs like this are possible through community engagement and support, and we appreciate your interest. We look forward to welcoming students and family this summer. Next slide, please. Enrollment in the program is a simple 3-step process. First, families submit an application to express interest in the program. Next, our team will reach out to confirm program details and answer any question. Finally, families complete registration to secure their students' place in the program. Because spaces are limited, we encourage families to connect with us early and follow our updates on Instagram for enrollment announcements. And thank you. This is the conclusion of my presentation.
Stacy D.M. Shaw is the founder and administrative infrastructure strategist of Your Brilliant Transitions, a virtual administrative consulting company widely known as the Administrative Architect, with more than 30 years of executive-level experience in administrative and operational leadership across real estate, construction, hospitality, facilities management, technology, and business consulting. Stacy helps businesses eliminate administrative chaos and operational gaps by ensuring they have a strong, structured, high-functioning back office and administrative operational foundation. She works with business owners and organizations that want their operations organized so their business runs smoothly on a solid foundation.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening or good morning, whenever you are watching this. My name is Stacy D.M. Shaw, and I am the founder of Your Brilliant Transitions, which is a virtual administrative consulting company. And I am so happy to be here to be a part of this virtual summit. And today I'll be speaking to you about how to use AI in your business operations. So guess what? We have a short space of time, so let's get going. So today's topic that we're speaking about is AI doesn't fix business, broken operations, and how to strengthen your business foundation before you introduce AI. A little bit about me. Again, my name is Stacy D.M. Shaw, Chief Administrative Strategist. I am the founder of Your Brilliant Transitions, and I'm the author of Administrative Foundations for Success, which is a book that I wrote for business owners and entrepreneurs. I am AI trained, I'm an AI integrator, and I'm also an AI trainer. And we're going to get into the presentation. So I want you to think about something, right? I want you to really think about these 6 questions these 6 scenarios that I'm going to speak to you about. Does any of this sound like your business? And if you said yes to even one, not 2, not 3, just one, this presentation is for you. Your inbox, which is your emails, your inbox runs you. You spend hours every day in email and still feel behind. There is no system. It lives in your head. And what I mean lives in your head, it's your business. Your business lives in your head. So your business runs because you know everything. You are the owner. You are the accountant. You are the web designer. You are the graphic designer. You are the admin. You are the marketing person, right? If you stepped away tomorrow, things would fall apart. Scenario 3. Files are everywhere. Documents scattered across email, desktop, laptop, and the cloud. Finding anything takes too long for you. Nothing is written down. Your team or even yourself ask the same questions repeatedly because there are no written procedures for anyone to follow. Daily meeting and calls that go nowhere. So you look on your calendar and you have 10, 12 calls or meetings that you have to attend, but there's no structure behind it. You don't know what you're going to discuss. The person maybe just went on your calendar and booked a meeting and you have no idea. There's no structure behind that. And then the last one, onboarding and offboarding. You have team members, you have clients, and there's no structure behind that either. Bringing in a client or a team member often creates gaps without a process. Now think about these 6 scenarios. Did any of them resonate with you? Well, the foundation problem, a house built on sand cannot stand. And this is something that I have been speaking about several times. When you add AI to back office with no systems, no documented processes, and no structure, you don't solve the problem. You expose it. I want you to think about that. You expose whatever business operation problem you have when you add AI to it without fixing it. In your business, this is what sand looks like. No written procedures, everything depends on you, emails that are never properly actioned or filed, documents no one can find when they need to find them, processes that only work when you are in the room, and then new people who take months to become productive. AI on top of this, all it does is automate the chaos. So what is the real cost to you? And I want you to understand that these numbers are actually realities. A source by McKinsey Global Institute says 28% of the work week is spent managing emails. 19% of business time lost searching for information and documents, and that is by IDC research. And this number is 19,000. Now, as a business owner, 19,000, that's a lot of money to lose. Now, this may seem like, okay, I'm a small business owner. I don't make $19,000 yet. And that may be true. But the average business owner, small business owner, entrepreneur who is making six figures. So if you take that for yourself and you look at that number, you are still losing money. Because guess what? You're losing money because poor communication and unclear processes. But the good news is that every one of these problems is fixable. That is exactly what a strong administrative foundation in your business will do. So here are 6 pillars that I'm going to go through very fast. And this is part of my the YBT framework. Email management. Organize your emails and reclaim your day. SOPs and procedures. Consistency with or without you. Document control. Identify dedicated file storage. Label files the same. Workflow design. Map out all the workflows. Implement, review, and audit. Meeting and call management. Make every hour count. Make your time count. Onboarding and offboarding. Clear transition process. And now we're going to actually just go through these pillars just so you could get a better understanding. Email and SOPs where most businesses lose most time. Email management, inbox zero. Folder structure and filters and response protocols. Email batching, define times for checking emails to stop constant interruption. Response templates, pre-written replies for recurring requests. Delegation protocols, clear rules for what gets action, forwarded, or filed. Shared inbox standards, business-wide rules so every inbox is managed identically. SOPs and procedures. Audit first, identify what needs to be documented, what is in your head and what is missing. Write and standardize. Clear step-by-step procedures for anyone to follow. And when I want to stop right here for 1 second, just so to reiterate that when I say write, it doesn't have to be the old way how you document. It could be videos, it could be checklists. There are very many ways to actually create your SOPs. Version control, always. You notice I stress it, always. Date stamp all your SOPs so your team uses the most current version. Assign ownership. Every SOP has a named owner to keep it current. And review cycle. Set a 6 to 12 month review so procedures evolve with the business. Document control and workflow, the invisible infrastructure. This file naming conventions. One agreed standard. Anyone can find anything under a minute. Centralized storage. And I'm going to go through fast just so to respect the time. Centralized storage, access and permissions. You need to know who has access to what. Not everybody should have access to everything in your business. Archiving, you must always have a documented approach for how you keep your files and how long you keep them. Workflow design, process mapping, map everything out, and then that will be able to show the inefficiencies, approval pathways, coverage protocols, and automation readiness. These steps here help you to map out your workflow with whatever it is, whatever aspect of your business, right? Step pillars 5 and 6, meeting management. No agenda, no meeting. Seriously, if you don't have an outline for what you're going to be speaking about, you need to reschedule that meeting, because this is your time. This is your money. It's money. It's your time. Allocate time for meetings and calls. Track action items. And what I mean by that is that now there are so many different AI tools like Otter, and even Zoom has it where it and Calendly has it as well, where it records all of your action items so that you have it after your meeting, and then you're not thinking about, oh, what was that person supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And then you take those action items and put it in a project management tool. Calendar boundaries, block your time. Onboarding and offboarding team and clients. Role-specific onboarding for your team. Business knowledge, where this is centralized system for documented procedures. You notice I speak about documented procedures quite a bit. Client welcome and exit process. Always have one for your onboarding for your clients, onboarding for your team, offboarding for your clients, offboarding for your team. And then an exit interview and knowledge transfer. This is where people can now tell you what they did, what needs to continue, and you know exactly everything that's going on into your business. So what fixing your foundation looks like, and we're running out of time, so we have to really hurry up, is week 1 to 2, audit every process, map what time is lost, identify what is missing, prioritize by impact. Organize is week 3 to 6, establish file name, centralize documents. Step 3, systematize, which is week 7 to 10. Write all core SOPs, map clean workflows, onboarding and offboarding. And then at that time, in step 4, that's when you will implement AI. Introduce AI tools, automate clean workflows, and expand what is working. And this is what it looks like. Chaos undocumented processes times AI equals infinite chaos. And then the 6 pillars of structure times AI equals limitless scale and reclaim time. So here is a quick checklist. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's really just for you to reiterate the steps so that you know how to implement them. Email system and protocols, key workflows, how to use your time wisely, operational backup plan. This is just a checklist. And as you're seeing this, just take a picture of it so you have an idea, right? And then, so now I hope that was an eye-opener to you of how to and when to implement AI into your business. And just so you know that there are 2 ways I'm going to share with you that you can work with me. And here's a QR code. This is an administrative operations assessment. That is a reality check that I can sit down with you and go through your business operations. You can go to GAPS, GAPS, costs, COSTS.com, or use the QR code. It is $70 until April 21st, regularly $97. I'll wait 1 second for you to take a picture. Or you may purchase my book, which I had mentioned earlier, 40 administrative tips for every small business owner. 40 administrative tips every small business owner needs. And here's the QR code as well. You can connect with me, yourbrillianttransitions.com, email ybt@yourbrillianttransitions.com, social media channels, yourbrillianttransitions.com, or LinkedIn, which my handle is my name, Stacy DMS. So I hope this was helpful. Questions and answers. I want to thank Kenyatta so much for this opportunity. And please feel free to reach out to me and let me know how this presentation helped you. I know it was a bit fast, but I hope it helped you. Thank you.
Donisha Davis is the CEO and co-founder of Flixmate, an entertainment discovery app that helps people discover, share, and track what to watch. She is also a professor at Marymount University, where she teaches design software essentials. After building a 25-year career as a designer in the federal government, Donisha made an early retirement pivot and bet on herself, choosing entrepreneurship in real time instead of waiting for perfect conditions. She is a proud FAMU and Howard University alum and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Incorporated. Donisha builds at the intersection of tech, design, and leadership, with a focus on turning real-life friction into usable tools that help people stay organized and connected. Her chapter in Ladies in Tech and Friends. Volume 4 reflects on range, resilience, and what it means to keep moving while life is still lifting. Her message is simple: have the audacity.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Donisha Davis. You can call me Nisha, and I'm one of the authors of Ladies in Tech. And my chapter is entitled Have the Audacity. My chapter is about betting on yourself before things are perfect and moving while it's still messy, because that's what building actually looks like. Today, I want to do something a little different. I want to briefly ground us in a message of my chapter, and then I want to show you what audacity actually looks like in real life by introducing what I'm building. So, because for me, having the audacity is not just a quote, it's a product decision. It's choosing to solve a problem I was living and tired of living with, and having the nerve to actually jump out there and find a solution in this world. So, FlixMate, my business, didn't just start as a business plan. It started as a real life problem. So, people would recommend movies and TV shows at brunch and group chats, standing in line, and I would lose the title before I could even remember it, right? And so it's weeks later, it's too late to remember that title. And then I realized something. It's not the recommendation that's the problem. It's actually the follow through. So I feel like we're surrounded by so many great suggestions, and we really don't have a clean way to capture them in the moment, to organize them, and actually follow through without all of the chaos. So that is what FlixMate is built for. Discover, share, track. Simple on purpose. So here's the quick pitch. FlixMate is an entertainment discovery platform that helps you save recommendations the moment you get them. You have share watch lists with the people who get your taste, and you track actually what you plan to watch. So you spend less time scrolling and more time watching. So here's what makes us different. FlixMate is built around the way we actually recommend something to someone in that moment. They happen because people and of those moments. So when someone says, oh, you'll love this show, or your cousin texts you, you need to watch this recommendation, or your friends mention something at brunch, life moves on. But FlixMate is built for you to actually hold that moment. So not just the title, but the context. Who told you? Why it mattered? What vibe you were in? Because that is actually how people remember what to watch. So when I presented FlixMate a few weeks ago, I said it like this. We really don't have a shortage of content. We have a decision fatigue problem. We have too many options. We lose time trying to scroll to find something to watch. And so FlixMate is built to reduce that friction and make discovery feel more personal and more organized. And so here's the simplest way to explain the user experience. You discover something, you save it, you share it if you want, and you track your watch list in one place. Discover, share, track. So let me connect that to the title of my chapter, which is Have the Audacity. Because building something like this requires having the audacity. It requires you move before you actually have full proof. It requires that you keep going even when people don't understand your vision yet. It requires that you take meetings even when you're still building, and it requires you to pitch even when you're still reframing. And it requires you to be ready when that moment opens up. So that's the part people leave out. Audacity is not just about shooting your shot. It's about really having the audacity to be prepared when the shot lands. Because sometimes a yes can come faster than you expect. Sometimes the door opens while you're still debating whether you even belong. So here's my message. And I'm going to say it is an invitation, not a lecture. If you have something that you're sitting on right now, give yourself a real chance. Not a perfect chance, a real one. And if you decide to move, do it with readiness. If you're going to jump, pack. If you're going to pitch, practice. If you're going to build with discipline, because that is how you turn audacity into outcomes. So thank you again, supporting Ladies in Tech and giving me this space to share both my chapter and what I'm building through FlixMate, my business. And if you would like to follow the journey and connect with me and stay close to FlixMate, I would love for you to do that as we grow. FlixMate, that app, and at FlixMate app. Thank you.
Dr. Jonas Gadsden, DTM known as Mr. Enthusiastic, is an expert coach in public speaking and effective communication, corporate trainer, international motivational speaker, 8-time Amazon best-selling author, and radio and TV personality. He is president and CEO of Partners for Purposeful Living, LLC, where he coaches and trains executives, professionals, and business owners who are committed to increasing their positive influence, impact, and income from the boardroom to the bedroom. Dr. Jonas brings 30 years of corporate knowledge, skills, expertise, and experience from Xerox Corporation and Eastman Kodak Company. At Eastman Kodak, he trained 8,000 employees from 69 countries. He was presented the United States Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for 50 years of volunteerism and community service. Dr. Jonas is very effective in speaking to women's executive, professional, and business audiences.
There are three kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those who wondered what happened. I am a person that makes positive things happen, and I know that you are too. There are three kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those who wondered what happened. This is your time and this is your turn. This is the decade for the doers to take a chance, take charge, and take control of your life, because you can always better your best. It is a privilege and a pleasure for me to be one of these guests to speak to the ladies that's in text. And I have a positive, powerful, and purposeful message for you today that says yes to your success. And the reason why I love this audience to speak, because I came from a background of corporate America, Eastman Kodak, and Xerox, and I trained people from around the world, and a lot of them were women. When we had the pandemic, for example, I decided that my word was collaboration, and I wanted to get involved with some more people, authors and writers and entrepreneurs and women that didn't know me. So I joined with over nearly 300 different speakers, and we did 6 brand new books on Amazon during the pandemic. I just wrote the forward, Yes You, Yes Now, to a sister that's in the C-suite, and she asked me to do the forwarding because I was in corporate America. And here's what I said, and the title would say, Yes to Your Success. Here's what I said to the women that's in C-suite and also in the tech area. If you're not in the room, and if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So the good news, I want to help you as sisters and women in text to get you in the room, to get you at the table, and to have some decision what's on the agenda. So I'm going to say yes to your success. And I'm going to spell it out in a acrostic sense with some positive, powerful, and purposeful methods for you for the 10 minutes that I was given by Ms. Powers. And I'm so fired up because women are my favorite group. Teaching them, training them, everything I learned, I'm trying to it in this 10 minutes. Number one, when you're talking about success, help me to spell it. It's SUCCESS. The first C, you have to get a larger vision of your self. There's nearly 8.5 billion people in the planet, and there'll never be another one like you. No one else can duplicate your fingerprint, your handwriting, or your child. You are biologically unique. You are fearfully, wonderfully made. So the first thing, you got to get a vision. What is your vision? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And what do you want to have? And then you say yes to yourself. You are special, as I indicate. There's nobody else like you. Just be born from young. Just because you're in tech, you don't have to lose the human touch. And that's what I bring to you, the human touch, being specialized as a speaker, a public speaker, and training people from around the world, a DTM and Toastmaster. And so you add the tech, allowing effective communication, and sister, you will be untouchable. The first C in saying yes to your success, you got to be committed. To be committed to your dreams, your goals, and your aspiration. You got to be able to invest in the most important person on the planet. That's you. Come on, somebody. I know it's tight, but it's right. You are special. And then the second C is that you got to learn the art of communication. There's a difference between an educator and a communicator. An educator takes simple things and make it complex. A communicator take complex things and make it simple. And that's what I do. I swing the bucket down low that everybody can get a drink. Bonus from Jonas. Always make your word short and sweet, because you never know which one you have to eat. So communication and being crystal clear in your thoughts, and be committed and learn the art to communicate. And when you communicate, you have to touch the heart. Because if you touch the heart, the emotion, that heart is going to drive you to the head, and the head is going to touch your hand, and you're going to reach out, and you're going to help somebody, and helping somebody will also help you. Then the E, then educate, it comes from the Latin word to lead and to draw out the greatness that is in you. Yes, it is true, sister. There's a genius in you. Allow that genius to bud, to bloom, and blossom into a bright and beautiful future. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were made after the image and Almighty God. Don't you dare die a cheap copy. And then after two more S's, and we'll be done. And then the second S, you got to be of service. Bonus of doing. Service is the rent that you pay for the space that you occupy on this planet. And some of us are behind on our rent. Ooh, I think I said something. I think that's a bonus from Jonas. I say service is the rent that we must pay for the space that we occupy on this planet. And some of us are behind on our rent. Then the last S is sustain the pace. Never give up. Never give in, and never give out, because it's always too early to quit, because a quitter never wins and a winner never quit. So I just want to talk to you, say, yes, this is your time. This is your turn. Yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, it is true. There's greatness in you. Allow that greatness to bud, to bloom, and to blossom into a bright and beautiful future. Because if you cheat yourself in your preparation, it will show up in your presentation. Let me repeat that. That's a bonus from Jonas. If you cheat yourself in your preparation, it will show up in your presentation. And let me tell you something as I close. See, I want to encourage something to you, because some of us have given up. Some of us feeling a little doubt. Some of us have given up hope. So when you spell out hope, it's having only positive expectation for you. And listen, don't you give up on you. This is your time. I'm talking to you, sister. Yes, this is your time. There's a book in you. There's a restaurant in you. There's a business in you. I don't know what it is in you, but I do know, bonus on Jonas, you are pregnant with possibility. Don't abort your dream, birth your dream. Let me tell you something. Move away from change. I'm closing. Move away from change to transformation, because change is temporary, but transformation is permanent. I don't care how many legs the caterpillar has. I don't care how fast it can run. It cannot fly, because the caterpillar must die in order for the butterfly to fly. So mount up with wings like an eagle. So now as I close, say yes to your success. Again, the S is for get a larger vision of yourself. You are important. And you are important. And 8.5 billion people on the planet, and no one else can duplicate your fingerprint, your handwriting, or your child, or your voice. You are biologically unique. Then be committed to your dream. Be committed to going back to school. Be committed to learn more tech. Be committed to learn, be specialized in whatever your gift is, because you were born with a special gift. And we want you to develop that gift, and it'll take you in front of kings. And then communication is so very important. That's the area I specialize in. Just wrote a brand new book that's coming out the same month as this power book is going to come out on the 31st. And if that's mastering your message, pick up your mic, because we need to hear your voice. And then the E is to educate. It's to lead and to draw out the greatness that are sitting, laying dormant in you right now. And then service is the rent that you pay for the space that you occupy on this planet. So put down the title and pick up the towel and serve somebody. Help your sister, help somebody, and help yourself. And then the last thing, sustain the pain. Never give up, never give in, and never give out. You have been listening to Dr. Jonas with the Bonus Gatson, known as Mr. Enthusiastic, with 30 years of corporate America, a 7-time bestseller book. And also, I got a gift for each one of you. Go to www.jonasbonus.com, free gift on communication. That's jonasbonus.com. And get your free gift. Put your name and address. You get a free gift there. If you want to get in contact with me, you can email me at jonaswiththebonus@outlook.com. That's jonaswiththebonus@outlook.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. And also you can also call me personal number 585-703-9547. That's 585-703-9547. And my motto for my company is, since greatness is possible, it's not enough. Go for greatness. 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 Thank you.
Kimisha Michaels is founder and CEO of Enliven Creative Agency and creator of Aries Diagnostic Systems, a patent-pending software platform that powers business wellness assessments designed to reduce business failure rates. A Goldman Sachs 10KSB alumni and ambassador and vice president of the Tampa Bay Black Chamber of Commerce, she works with growth-stage businesses where infrastructure fractures threaten survival. Based in Tampa, Florida, some of her notable clients include Mercedes-Benz, Ford, Audi, Lincoln, State Farm, Academy Bank, and SBDC.
Good morning, Dr. Nadia. Thank you for having me as a guest on your show this morning. I'm looking forward to sharing what's new. So if you want, I am going to get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimisha Michaels. I am the founder and CEO of Enliven Creative Agency. And so for the last year, I have been developing and working on a new project to address the untold story of entrepreneurship. So we're just going to get right into it. So I have been working on the first business wellness ecosystem, which is a holistic solution to reduce business failure by 20 to 35% once it is implemented. And you're probably asking me, what in the heck is a wellness ecosystem? Well, for those of you who don't know, every 30 seconds, a business owner is considering giving up on everything. And sadly, by the end of this presentation, 20 more will have that thought. And this is where the ecosystem comes into play. Oops. There is actually an untold story about entrepreneurship that needs to be addressed. And one of those is that business owners are the number 2 demographic for suicides, which is a problem. This comes about because the business fails, income is lost, they lose their home, causes divorces and fractures, and they feel alone. So not everybody can handle that failure, so they commit suicide. And this is one of the reasons of my why, because I know no one goes into business to fail. And in school, you know, they teach us how to identify your ideal clients' buy-in patterns, but no one talks about the mindset and how it could either be your friend or it could be your foe in business. 72% of businesses talk about they have mindset issues, whether that's self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, buying out of fear, being reactive, which leads to the 42% that will actually close their doors behind it. So today, I want to let you know I built this system for you. I want you to know you're not alone and that I see the struggles, and I want to present my solution to what you're going through. So my story begins with, for 20 years, I was in survivor mode from a narcissistic relationship. I developed a person that was, quiet, because I got tired of arguing. I learned to hide. I learned to not speak up for myself. I forgot who I was because, when you think about narcissistic, they go out of their way to strip you of all your self-esteem. And even if the relationship is over, doesn't mean that you're mentally free from that relationship. So what I learned was that I was in this survival mode, protection mode. And as long as I decided to stay quiet and stay in my corner, everything was okay. But when I decided and realized I am no longer bound by that relationship, that mindset, or that person I became during the relationship. And so as I tried to free my mind, an internal battle happened. The person who I became versus the person I wanted to be. And so every day there was this battle of who is going to win And of course, I say Kim is the person that was created during the marriage, and Kamisha is the person that I was born to be. But they were clashing. Kim never wanted Kamisha to be out there because, oh my gosh, if somebody sees you, bad things can happen. So it sent me on this journey of finding out the root of the internal battle and what patterns that it creates. And so it turned into this system. And during my discovery, I learned that the patterns, how they begin is, you know, you're going through life and life is life in, and all of a sudden you have a trigger. Let's say a divorce, kids. Let's just say you're coming out of a narcissistic relationship or an abusive relationship. Well, that event triggers your mind and gets your amygdala, which is your nervous system, to take over. It actually hijacks your decision making. And you don't understand what's going on. You just know that these bad behaviors or disruptive behaviors are taking place, but you don't know why. So you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And so while you're in protection or survival mode, the good part of your brain is shut down. It is offline until you learn how to reset your mind and nervous system. And that is why you will see your emotions and behavior can be sometimes off the chart. And what I have done in this program, because I know sometimes when people are going through this internal battle, people on the outside don't see what's happening. They only see the results, the behavior of it. And sometimes we don't know how to articulate how we're feeling. So I created over 200 emojis that showcase how you're feeling, so that you can name it to change it. So kind of how it works is you take, well, I teach you how to recognize the patterns. So let's just say when you're panicking, and sometimes that panic is, oh my gosh, if I don't buy this program today, I'm going to lose out. I know I don't have the money, but I'm going to buy it anyway. Or there's another program that you don't even need, but that panic sets in and you decide, well, I'm going to get it anyway because I may use it, even though deep down inside, you know, you're never going to use it. And so I created your mindset, friend or foe, to help you to understand the root and how that panic button gets set off. That way, if you can recognize the patterns, you can interrupt it so that you can reset your mind and nervous system in order to change the behavior so that when you are making decisions in life and in your business, it doesn't have a crisis behind it. And I also created a 90-day complimentary workbook that actually teaches you how to do the resetting of your mind and nervous system. And you must do them at the same time, because if you do not reset the nervous system, it's like you didn't do anything at all. So the behaviors and the emotions will keep happening. So what I did is I created the riser framework, which is the recognizing how to interrupt and how to shift the behavior so that you can engineer new behaviors and then reinforce it. And as a part of that, what I did is I created 7 emotional zones that go from crisis to regulated. And within each one of those zones, that's how the emojis come into place. So if you don't have the words for how you're feeling, you could use the emojis. If you're not sure, I guess some of the words that are used, I created a reference sheet. So if you hear certain things coming out of your mouth, you can go, oh, okay, well, today I'm in crisis mode, or I'm in frozen zone. But it will also help you to track which days not to make decisions. Because if you're feeling stuck, maybe you won't make the right decision and will drain financial resources that you may need later on. So I made it very easy for you to map your emotions, map your mindset so that you know if you're regulated or unregulated. And the goal is to get you into this regulation zone, because that means that everything that you've been through, you have been able to process it and heal from it so that it no longer affects your your decision making, whether it's personal or business. And so I just want to go back. I know it's not in my presentation, but as part of this, I created these songscapes. And what this songscape does is it takes your patterns, your emotions, and it processes it in a song so that you can start the healing journey. Everybody knows that music brings healing. So I wanted to make it a part of this program so that you can be like, yeah, okay, yes, that's exactly how I feel. This is what happened. Maybe not so much exactly, but you will get the point, and it will just be like, okay, somebody understands me. Somebody sees what I'm going through. Because I strongly believe that this is one of the main reasons why people commit suicide, is because they don't know how to articulate what's going on inside their mind. So if you have any questions and you want to learn more about the pivot method, I would love to answer any questions that you may have about it. This is a program that is rolling out in the next month, that it will be alive. My goal is to white label it to coaches, counselors, and advisors, because this will help them help their clients on a different level. And then it gets out to the many, which then decreases the self-sabotaging behaviors that send businesses into crisis and closure. And that's it. So I just want to say, don't be one of the 20 people who feel like giving up because you think nobody's there for you.
Tiffany Burton is a leadership strategist, speaker, and CEO of The Whole Me, LLC. She works at the intersection of wholeness, self-leadership, and disciplined execution. helping women move from emotional survival to intentional, standards-driven living. Through coaching, strategic mentorship, and transformative talks, Tiffany equips women to heal deeply, rebuild confidently, and lead themselves with clarity and conviction. Her approach blends emotional insight with practical structure, empowering women to raise their relational, personal, and professional standards without apology. Known for her calm authority and strategic depth, Tiffany challenges women to stop outsourcing their power and start building lives that reflect their worth, values, and long-term vision.
Hello, ladies. My name is Tiffany James, and I'm the founder of the Whole Me International, where my work centers on helping women lead themselves from a place of wholeness, aligning their identity, their inner authority, and the lives they're building in their homes, relationships, and the marketplace. I'm passionate about helping women recognize the power they carry already and step fully into the leadership of their own lives. Even though I'm not physically in the room with you today, I want you to imagine we're sitting across from each other for a moment. What I want to share with you is not just a speech, it's an invitation. It's an honor to be able to speak into a room filled with women who are shaping the future through technology, innovation, and leadership. Women who are building systems, solving problems, creating solutions, and quietly rewriting what leadership looks like in spaces that were not always designed with us in mind. And yet, the shift happening in rooms like this one isn't just about women entering new spaces. The deeper shift is happening within the women who enter them. Because the most powerful leadership transformation a woman will ever experience doesn't begin with a promotion, a title, or a seat at the table. It begins with identity. It begins with two simple words: I am. Everything that follows those words begins shaping the life you live inside of. I am capable. I am overwhelmed. I am powerful. I am behind. I am evolving. Those two words quietly become the architecture of your reality. They shape how you see the world. They shape what you believe is possible. They shape how you show up in rooms like this one. And whether we realize it or not, we are constantly creating from what follows these words, which means this: you are already the standard of your life. Not someday, not when you finally feel confident enough, not when you reach the next title. Right now, through your thoughts, through your beliefs, through your emotional state, through the signals your nervous system is sending every single day. Your life is constantly organizing itself around what you believe is true. This is what I expect. This is what I believe is possible. This is what I'm available for. And life responds accordingly. So the question is not whether you are shaping your life. You already are. The real question is, are you doing it consciously? Because leadership doesn't begin when someone gives you authority. Leadership begins when you take responsibility for the reality you are creating. I remember a moment when that truth became very real for me. I was sitting on my porch after divorce. The life I thought I had built, the structure that held my family together had shifted in a way I never imagined. Suddenly, I was holding the weight of everything, raising my children, trying to fill every gap, trying to be strong enough and capable enough to make sure nothing fell apart. And like many women, I moved into striving mode, trying to do more, be more, hold more. But in the quiet of that moment, something deeper surfaced. I said out loud, God, I just want to feel like a woman, held, provided for, protected, adored. And then something else became clear to me. I didn't just want those things in isolation. I wanted everything in my life to flow from that place: motherhood, relationships, money, leadership. Because what I realized sitting there was this: I had been leading my life from pressure instead of essence. And when a woman leads from pressure, she performs, she proves, she overextends, she becomes who she believes the world expects her to be. But when a woman reconnects to her essence, something shifts. That woman stops performing and begins leading. Her leadership becomes grounded, steady, clear, not rooted in proving, rooted in knowing. knowing who she is, what she values, the life she is here to build. And this is something many women are discovering in this season of life. Growth rarely feels comfortable. We know that. Expansion rarely feels easy. But don't shy away from the discomforts of this season. Learn to rejoice in them because they are stretching you, expanding you into your highest potential, into the version of you who actually can hold the desires placed in your heart. You have more power than you realize. You have the power to shift your sight, to shift your perspective, to heal your nervous system, to change what you believe. Because here is something powerful about the way we are designed. Your nervous system is not just responding to the world around you, it is interpreting it. And the interpretations you carry, often formed years ago, quietly shape the reality you continue to create. Sometimes we speak powerful words on the surface, but underneath those words, the subconscious may still be whispering something else. I'm not ready. I don't belong here. I have to prove myself. And the deeper belief often wins, not because we lack ability, but because the nervous system always chooses what feels familiar. So part of becoming the standard of your life is doing the inner work of aligning those deeper beliefs and the truth of who you are becoming. It is choosing new thoughts, new perspectives, new expectations. It is choosing life, choosing trust, choosing rest, because your purpose is not just to do. Your purpose is to be. And when a woman becomes anchored in who she is, she begins shaping the atmosphere of the spaces she enters. Her home feels it. Her relationships feel it. Her workplace feels it. Her team feels it. The whole woman changes environments simply by the way she shows up. And the world right now needs whole women. Women who understand that their presence carries influence. Women who understand that they are not here to compete. They are here to co-create. Leadership has never been about domination. It has always been about balance, structure and intuition, logic and wisdom, strategy and awareness. And the whole woman understands something important. She is not in competition with the man. She is in co-creation with the world she is helping to build, especially in fields like technology. Technology is building the infrastructure of tomorrow, and women like you are helping decide what that future looks like. So when a woman walks into a room fully grounded in who she is, something shifts, the room shifts, the atmosphere shifts, opportunities shift. Life begins responding to the clarity of her presence, not because she forced it, but because she became aligned. Alignment changes everything, which means the most important leadership work any woman will ever do is not outside of her. It is within her. It is the work of knowing where she returns when doubt tries to speak louder than truth. So let me ask you something. Where is your secret place? Where do you go to settle your fears? Where do you go to quiet your doubts? Where do you go to be restored, strengthened, and reminded of who you truly are? Because every powerful woman has one, a place where the noise fades, a place where the nervous system settles, a place where truth becomes louder than fear. And from that place, she rises again. She walks back into the rooms she has been called to enter, not striving, not proving, but grounded, centered, knowing, certain. I am called to be here. I don't need to compete. I need to be aligned, to know when to speak, when to remain silent, when to pivot, and when to stand firm. Because the truth is this: the earth needs your expansion. Creation itself is waiting for you to come fully forward, to rise into the fullness of the idea that existed when you were created. So ask yourself, what do you need to reinforce your borders? What do you need to fortify your tent? Do you need community? Is it mentorship, support, devotion to your own growth? How do you need to be held so that you can stand fully in who you are becoming? Because when women rise in wholeness, everything around them rises too. And the future becomes more expansive because of the leadership women bring into it. So if you are stepping into rooms that stretch you, if you are building something bigger than you imagine, if you are navigating seasons that feel uncertain, Remember this: you are not waiting to become the standard. You already are the standard of the life you are living. The invitation now is simply to live like you know it. Stand fully in who you are, lead from your center, tell the truth, live in truth, and allow the world to experience the power of a woman who has decided to come fully forward.
Kayon Abdul Malik serves as the Chief Innovation Officer of Ready Set Prep Early Learning Center, where she leads transformative technology and operational strategies that strengthen early childhood education and family engagement. She is also the chair of the Baltimore City Women's Commission, advocating for equity, opportunity, and meaningful systemic change for women and girls across the city. A proud lupus warrior, Kiani brings resilience, clarity, and purpose to every room she enters. Beyond her professional impact, she is a devoted wife and mother of two, grounding her leadership in compassion and lived experience. She is also the founder of Found a Butterfly, a platform designed to inspire personal transformation and empower others to navigate growth through life's challenges. Her work reflects a deep commitment to innovation, advocacy, and community advancement. Kayon Abdul Malik serves as the Chief Innovation Officer of Ready Set Prep Early Learning Center, where she leads transformative technology and operational strategies that strengthen early childhood education and family engagement. She is also the chair of the Baltimore City Women's Commission, advocating for equity, opportunity, and meaningful systemic change for women and girls across the city. A proud lupus warrior, Kiani brings resilience, clarity, and purpose to every room she enters. Beyond her professional impact, she is a devoted wife and mother of two, grounding her leadership in compassion and lived experience. She is also the founder of Found a Butterfly, a platform designed to inspire personal transformation and empower others to navigate growth through life's challenges. Her work reflects a deep commitment to innovation, advocacy, and community advancement.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Kiani Abdul Malik, and today I want to talk to you about something that just isn't a theme for a conference. It's a lived experience, my lived experience. I want to talk from the thought, make your own lane. And notice I did not say making your own lane. I said make, as a sort of a command, like just go ahead and go out there and do it. And believe me, if there's anyone who has learned how to build a lane, pave it, name it, and drive down without the headlights on, it is me. Now, let me take you to 2015. I had a personal and life-defining shift. I became a mom, but also found myself becoming a lupus warrior at the same time. Two major life events happening alongside each other. 5 weeks after giving birth to my first child, my beautiful baby boy, my body started to shut down on me. I was fighting the battle physically, mentally, and emotionally. And everyone, specifically those in healthcare, wanted to chalk it all up to postpartum. But it was bigger and a whole lot different than postpartum. It was lupus. And if you know, you know, lupus is unpredictable, it's isolating, it's painful in ways that people can't always see. The only people who truly understand lupus are those that are dealing with it, or any other autoimmune disease, since they can mirror each other. Hearing the words, "you have lupus," sent me spiraling and searching. I searched everywhere for a community, a place where I didn't have to explain what the fatigue meant, or why my skin hurt, or why it was like I was carrying an invisible weight. But there was no space that spoke to the emotional, mental, and daily reality of the disease. That was the beginning of how I learned how to build my own lane. I created a lupus foundation that now serves as that very community I searched for. Today, Lupus Warriors has a place to cry, laugh, vent, learn, and lean on each other. Not because I found it, but because I created it. Now let's fast forward to 10 years later. Last year, to be exact. For 22 years, I dedicated my life to public service as a federal employee. Government was all I knew. It was stable, it was familiar, it was my routine. And then one day, well, 30 days to be exact, the climate was like nothing I was used to. So I had the courage and the fear, to be quite honest, to walk away. I was tired about how we as federal employees were being treated. I stepped out into the world thinking I have experience, I have skills, I have leadership under my belt. Surely the working world outside of the government will welcome me. Boy, was I wrong. It was really wrong. I applied to over 900 jobs. 900. And do you know what I received in return? Silence. Door after door stayed closed. The only callbacks I got were for sales jobs. And while there's nothing wrong with sales, that wasn't the type of position I was seeking. I began to question myself, my skills, my abilities. Was I wrong to leave? Was I losing my identity? Did none of my years of experience and service matter? Simply put, was I crazy for getting caught up in the rhetoric and leaving? But here's the thing about life. Sometimes the rejection you feel is just really a redirection. Sometimes the closed doors are actually clues pointing you towards the door you're supposed to build for yourself. And that brought me to childcare, an industry I wasn't looking for or interested in, but an industry that was quietly calling me. When I entered the early learning field, I realized something immediately. Technology was almost non-existent. IT and childcare was an untapped, unexplored space. It was just use this software or this app to operate, and that's it. But for the first time in a long time, I saw a lane. So I leaned in. I carved out space for technology, innovation, cybersecurity, data systems, operational structure, and digital literacy. Things no one was thinking about in the daycare setting. And today, I serve as the Chief Information Officer of a nonprofit daycare business, helping transform how childcare programs operate and thrive. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. It was alignment. And that is the heart of my message today. You don't have to wait for someone to choose you. Sometimes you are the builder, the architect, the innovator, the pioneer of what you need. Now, I want to leave you with 3 things that truly helped me make my own lane. The first thing is to keep your eyes, mind, and heart open. Opportunities rarely arrive in the way that we expect. In fact, many show up disguised as inconvenience, confusion, and even rejection. If your mind is too closed, if your heart is too hard, if your expectations are too rigid, you will miss the very thing that was meant for you. A closed anything will eliminate your options. When childcare showed up in my life, it didn't look glamorous. It didn't look like a next step for a former IT government professional. But something said to me, just stay open. Your breakthrough opportunity may not look like what you imagine, but it will feel aligned if you stay open to it. The second thing that I used was network. Network in all the spaces, all of them, as many as possible. You never know where your next idea, connection, resource will come from. You can't assume it's just going to fit into one simple box. I found myself in commercial real estate rooms, not because I was in that industry, but because my husband was, and I tagged along on certain conferences and things that he went to. I didn't know the language, the processes, the players, but I listened, I learned, talked to people, and observed their mindset. Being in spaces that had nothing to do with my background actually expanded my imagination. It made me think differently about business, opportunities, operations, and strategies. Sometimes the rooms you need isn't the one that matches your resume, but it's the one that stretches your vision. And the last thing I want to leave you with, the most important thing, is to stay true to yourself, your values, your passion, and your calling. And if for whatever reason you don't know what those things are, then it's time to spend some intentional time with yourself. I had to do it. I had to sit with myself. I had to rebuild my confidence after 900 rejections. I had to redefine who I was without a government title. I had to reconnect with my purpose while managing lupus, my organization, motherhood, being a wife, a daughter who was supporting a mom who was going through a breast cancer journey, and leading the Women's Commission of Baltimore City. I had to navigate back to myself through all of the noise. I had to find myself, my core, my center. I had to learn how to cater to myself holistically. From that internal work, I developed a wellness program, initially for myself, that nurtured my mind, body, and spirit daily. That stillness, that discipline helped me understand my true passions and align my next chapter with who I really am. I always use that journey I also use that journey to build a community for that same wellness program, in which I am helping other people learn to cater to their mind, body, and spirit for holistic alignment, yet building another lane. To make your own lane, you must first know your vehicle, your driver, your cargo. Your vehicle is your strength. Your driver is your purpose, and your cargo is what matters most to you, the values you refuse to compromise. When you understand these things, you can move with clarity and conviction, no matter what road you're on. So as I close, here's what I want you to remember. You don't need permission to pivot. You don't need applause to start. You don't need a perfect path. You just need that first courageous step. Your lane may not exist yet. Mine didn't, but that only means you're meant to build it. And when you do, when you pave your own road, don't be surprised if there are others starting to follow behind you because your carriage became their blueprint. So I thank you all for listening to me today. Again, I'm Kiani Abdul-Malik and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Denise D'Angelo writes and teaches about how organizations adapt when technology advances faster than the structures surrounding it. Her work focuses on transformation leadership, AI workforce readiness, and the operating models required to sustain both. Over more than 25 years, Denise has led complex technical and organizational change across fintech, healthcare, banking, and U.S. Department of Defense programs. Her experience guiding modernization efforts informs her perspective that technology change and human capability must evolve together. Through articles, essays, and executive instruction, she examines how work moves inside modern organizations as AI becomes embedded in daily practice. Denise designs training programs and executive workshops that help leaders translate AI capability into operating reality and rethink decision flow, accountability, and governance. She also mentors women in technology, helping them build authority and resilience in environments where they may be the only woman at the table. Her work equips leaders to guide transformation with clarity and endurance.
Hi, I'm Denise D'Angelo, and I am a contributing author to Ladies in Tech Volume 4, and I'm excited to be with you here today. I am a transformation executive, and I've been leading large-scale initiatives across organizations in different industries for many, many years. And I now coach program and project managers to be able to do the inner work of transformation, and I'm excited to get my presentation started for you here today. So the personal discipline of leading transformation separates successful transformation leaders from the rest. And what that means is there is an inner relentless commitment that's required to carry an organization through fundamental change. When we talk about transformation, we're not talking about system upgrades or modernization projects. We're not talking about tech rollouts or process optimization that sits on top of the same business model. This doesn't mean checklists. It's not project and program management. It's not rebranding something old with new tools or colors. This is fundamental shifts in how a business creates value, redesigning op models and decisions, new ways of technology that shape work and capability, pivots to new clients, disruption of industries and assumptions, and building capabilities that competitors cannot easily replicate. So when we're talking about true transformation, it demands a fundamental shift. You're changing form and shape. The ask of your leadership when you're transforming something so large is going to be very much of a commitment. So we're talking about typically large, complex, immovable, deeply established organizations. This is not incremental improvement. These are reorienting of people and beliefs and habits and long-term understanding of what they've built. You'll see some defendants of the status quo in these situations. So the ask of you as a leader of transformation is not to keep track of tasks and next steps and milestones, but you're going to be digging a lot deeper. You're going to be inspiring belief and motivating people in the organization that they can see the art of the possible and operate differently. You're going to set direction where your leaders may have given you a vision, but it's not quite clear. You're going to be responsible for giving clarity. You're going to pull along an evolution of business when the path is not still, it's just not yet emerged. So you're leading through uncertainty, challenging assumptions, questioning the beliefs and the operating norms that have really defined how a company has been working all these years. So you're now this change agent, and you're given a gift. And that gift is the gift of changing the energy and reaching into all the different aspects and dimensions of that company and that organization to make the conditions and the environment to be able to move forward and sustain that momentum and that energy. And you might say, oh, that sounds fun and easy because you're the conduit. And so it's a very exciting role to have. And if you're a current project manager or a program manager and you want to expand your reach and you want to evolve, the transformation leader is going to be touching every single dimension. So you'll be interacting with IT. You'll be interacting with business leaders, many times legal, compliance, audit. You'll probably talk with finance. You'll get ingrained with process reengineering, procurement. So you are going to touch every part of the enterprise. You're going to be this connection point, this electricity, this conduit and mechanism to connect people who don't usually communicate or align. So you're creating new pathways of communication. You are bringing together people that seldom work side by side. So you're starting to create those new relationships and translating business priorities into technical capability and translating technical possibility into strategy. You're the interpreter. You navigate the system, you navigate governance, and you are navigating all this different terrain, bringing along the teams with you. So it's a very exciting role and an exciting position to your bridging. A lot of people might call you the glue. I like to use the conduit, but you are an electric charge between all these different teams. And you're going to face some resistance because transformation is not always a smooth path, and sometimes it could take a long time to get through. And so you'll encounter some wrong turns or costly mistakes. You might have entrenched opposition. You'll have people that don't like you. They don't like the message. They don't like the direction. They have strong opinions against letting go of the systems that they built. And so the weight of that resistance can really bring you down. But what you have to do is you have to bring a consistent energy. And that's where we talk about the discipline of leading transformation, because you will have to combat anxiety that's happening throughout the organization. You will have to bring curiosity to fear. You will bring possibility to doubt. And you'll have to carry a conviction of clarity across teams that are deflated and the low energy. So you're going to be expanding and integrating, gathering, bringing all of these people together and understanding where they are, what they need to hear, how you have to communicate to be able to diffuse disagreement, to get rid of defensiveness. You listen and you take the time to get to know who's out there and what they need to hear. So you don't get annoyed and go home frustrated because Gary didn't get on board. You try to understand, what does Gary need to get on board? And so you create for yourself a disciplined vision of who you're going to be and how you're going to bring that energy to this transformation. And that is the consistency. You're the light, the beacon of the program. This requires holding steady. It is something that you have to practice daily, because you will start to feel that you're the one working the hardest. You're the one working the longest hours. And where's my recognition? Where's my promotion? I'm making this look so easy for everyone. But actually what you really need to do is consistently replenish your own energy to be able to replenish the energy of the teams, to be able to integrate all of the perspective, to listen across functions, to raise the energy of the room when progress slows or uncertainty starts to spread. You have to surface what is buried, and that's going to take a discipline of every day coming in at that same level to be able to hold that space. You have to accept responsibility. There's no blame. There's a deep awareness of your own reactions on a day-to-day basis under pressure. And you're going to choose ownership over defensiveness. You're going to build and grow skills that you didn't even know that you had as a leader, and you become the most aware role model for the teams that they can then open up and start to model your behavior. So you're literally changing shape when you're running a transformation, and you're exhausted, but you continue because you're the one who cares the most. So while everyone else is taking the easy path, you're doing the hard things, and you're showing up consistently, and you're electric. You're electric in how you speak and how you carry yourself. You refine the vision, you listen, you understand what teams need to hear, and you demonstrate the behaviors that you're asking others to adopt. So choose to be electric. Refine the vision continuously. Lead by demonstration. Your behavior change in an organization will model the very ways of working you're seeking the teams to embrace. And for transformation, this is essential because it's really what you are shaping what others believe is possible, and you're continuously lifting up the energy and rising. And every day you're lifting and lifting these teams, these habits, these behaviors. You're changing shape and form. And the success is going to be seen and felt in what you accomplish through your servant leadership of these different teams and connected organizational components. So bottom line is your energy is the force that's going to carry you through as a transformation leader. At the deepest level, the personal discipline of leading transformation is going to be sustained by a profound sense of love for the people that you lead. For the prospective clients whose lives this work will improve. And for the transformative idea itself, this is what makes the hard days worth it. We're disrupting this industry. We're separating from the competitors. So we're not just managing a program or a project or a schedule, a checklist, or a process improvement. We are actually genuinely leading others to growth. We're changing lives. And there's a real fulfillment in this, especially as a person who's done this in many different industries. So I've done this in defense, I've done this in fintech, and I've done this in healthcare and research. And I can tell you the profound sense of changing a team composition, changing behaviors to something better and brighter, making the work experience better is it's very fulfilling. And so it's worth accomplishing, and it's a slow accumulation of wins and improvements in habits and mindsets and behaviors, and culmination of which changes the organization. So love the people that you lead, and make sure that you are including their growth, their dignity, and their capacity to rise and something greater than just the transformation of technology system or modernization of whatever you're bringing to this organization. Keep a deep commitment to serve the customers and the communities whose lives will be changed for the better, because you did not give up. You did not let frustration in. You did not allow emotions to take over. And so at the end of the day, your transformation of yourself is going to be equivalent to the transformation of the organization that you're supporting. And I'm so excited for you. The things that you have to maintain and think about is a daily discipline, and you're going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the wonderful things that you will do.
Tedra Thomas Burgess is a technology growth leader, board member, and founder of Chasing Outcomes, where she serves as a GTM architect, fractional revenue leader, and executive advisor to AI plus tech companies. With 25 plus years of C-suite and executive experience, Including leadership roles at Google Cloud, Hewlett-Packard, and Tanium, she has built and scaled go-to-market strategies, accelerated revenue growth, and led teams through high-stakes transformation. She's known for an authentic, outcomes-driven style that helps founders and senior leaders turn complexity into clear priorities, decisive execution, and measurable results. Tedra also advises individuals, supporting ambitious leaders as they strengthen executive presence, expand influence, and navigate career-defining transitions. As a speaker, she brings practical insight on scaling growth, executive decision-making, and leading with authority in fast-changing markets.
From overlooked to in demand, a 10-minute reset for ambitious women. If you've ever done excellent work and still been passed over for the opportunity, the promotion, or the introduction, this is for you. Because being overlooked is rarely a talent problem. It's usually a visibility problem, a voice problem, or a strategy problem. And the good news is those are all solvable. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a reset you can use immediately, whether you're building a career, leading a team, or growing a business. You might want to have something to write with. I'm going to give you a few things worth capturing. And by the end, you'll have one focus area that makes you easier to recommend and a few sentences you can use to sound decisive without sounding harsh. And one move you can make in the next 72 hours to shift how people respond to you. For context, I'm Tedra Thomas Burgess. I've spent 25 plus years in tech leadership, including at Google Cloud and Hewlett-Packard. And now I advise high growth companies on revenue strategy and go-to-market execution. But what I'm sharing today isn't theory. What I've seen separate women who stay reliable from women who become in demand. The core idea is this: your value isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the clearest. We're going to very quickly give you some tools that achieve that clarity. First, become easy to place. The first reason women get overlooked is that they're excellent, but very hard to summarize. You might be the person who can do everything. And honestly, that's exactly the problem. Because opportunities don't go to the best kept secret. They go to the person who can be described in one sentence. So here's your first reset. Pick one lane for the next 30 days. Not forever, just 30 days. And ask yourself, what do I want to be known for right now? What do I want people to say about me when I'm not in the room? Here are some examples. She's the one who can turn chaos into a plan. She's the one who can align stakeholders and get decisions made. She's the one who can build a marketing motion that actually converts. So here's what this looks like in practice. Instead of saying, I do sales, or I do strategy, operations, and execution, you say, I turn messy growth plans into repeatable revenue engines. That's a lane you can define. Now, this is important, so please listen up. Visibility is not self-promotion. Visibility is making it easier for the right people to find you, to trust you, and to advocate for you. So for the next 30 days, choose one place to be visible on purpose. One meeting where you speak early, one weekly update where you name outcomes, one post, one comment, one introduction, something consistent. Consistency beats intensity every time. Second, stop over-explaining, please. The second reason women get overlooked is voice, and not because you don't have one, but because you've been trained to soften it. You've probably done this. You give the answer in a meeting, and then you give 3 paragraphs of justification. You make a recommendation, and then you backpedal and apologize for yourself for even having a recommendation in the first place. Or you share an idea and then you hand it back to the room like it's not yours. So here's your voice reset. Trade explanation for direction. Let me give you a few sentences you can borrow. And for now, use these as a script, but keep saying them until they become your own authentic voice. Number one, here's what I recommend and why. It's short, it's direct, and remember, you're not asking for permission. Number two, the decision we need today is A. My recommendation is B. This helps you to be able to move the room from discussion to decision. And number three, if the goal is X, the trade-off is Y. I'm advocating for X. This raises the conversation. This is executive level language, and it shows that you understand consequences. And number four, my focus right now is, and here's where you insert whatever strategic priority it is that you're focused on. I'm happy to connect you with someone who can own this. Use this one when you're being pulled into work that doesn't match your level, doesn't match your workload, and distracts you from your strategic priorities. And if for any of these you're thinking, but I don't want to sound aggressive, here's the reframe I need you to understand. Strategic clarity is leadership. You have to own it. And third, make one strategic move. The third reason women get overlooked is strategy. A lot of women, and I mean a lot of women, do high quality work in extremely low visibility places. So your final reset is this. Make one move that changes your surface area. Think of surface area as this. How many people know what you do? Trust your judgment and think of you when opportunity shows up. Here are a few examples, and pick the one that's right for you. As you're building your career, ask for a sponsor conversation. I'd love your support being considered for bigger scope. Here are the outcomes I'm currently driving. Offer a point of view in a room that matters. Here's what I'm seeing in the data and what I think we should do next. Request the assignment that signals that you have prepared and you are absolutely ready. I want to lead this initiative, and here's how I'll measure success. And if you're an entrepreneur, reach out to 5 people who already trust you, know your work, know your value, know what you bring to the table, and ask them for one introduction each. The goal is not to do more. The goal is to do what changes how you are perceived. So let's lock in. Right now, grab something to write with if you haven't already and write this down. Number 1, in the next 30 days, I want to be known for A. Number 2, the sentence I will use to claim my voice is B. And number 3, in the next 72 hours, my strategic move is C. If you do nothing else, please do number 3. Momentum beats motivation. You could leave here today motivated and do nothing with it, or you can leave here today and let your motivation fuel your momentum. I appreciate your being here today, and I want you to know you don't need permission to be powerful. You do need clarity. You need the language, and you need to make at least one strategic move. From overlooked to in demand isn't a personality change. It's not a do-over. It's not stepping outside of yourself or outside of your authentic voice. It is a positioning change and one that you can own. And if you're thinking, I'll start when I'm ready, please start messy and start now. I appreciate you again for being here, and thank you for choosing to be seen.